Intelligent, insightful, smart. These are words other podcasts use to describe themselves, not us. This is Fairly Harmless, where missing the point is only the beginning. With musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Please enjoy Andrew and James.
I was just looking back through our tabs from the last time, and I stumbled upon Short Circuit in Johnny 5.
Now, you could have knocked me over with a wet fish if you had told me that, was it C. Thomas Howell who played the scientist? But I thought it was an actual Indian guy.
But it wasn't. It was a white guy playing light brown face.
Right. And it came up because
it was
one of us, we watched a video of
it was
Kumail Nanjiani, is it?
No, it was Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari.
Yeah, and he was on
Are you offended?
On Conan or something like that.
Are you offended that this?
He was so offended by the fact that this white guy played an Indian. Like, they couldn't even find an actual Indian to play the part. I mean, Hollywood at that time was different than it is now, obviously. But
I don't know. They still have difficulty finding
Indian actors.
I mean, I don't know.
You look
better.
At things like The Simpsons.
It's getting a lot better. I saw that I was looking on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Last night, I had them piped into my home. The YouTubes.
All three of them?
You know, I need to invite myself back over to your home so that we can rewatch the 2021 film Dune, Volume 1.
You know what I recommend we watch as well as Magnolia, the film with Philip Seymour Hoffman in it. The reason that's I've been thinking all week, we need to sit down and have a Philip Seymour Hoffman watch party where you can watch your film Capote and we can watch Magnolia, one of my favorite Philip Seymour Hoffman films, along with Punch Drunk Love, with the one movie that I'll watch with Adam Sandler.
Well, if we're gonna do that, I think we should also watch on your big TV or Tom's TV. You know what? You can tap on your computer and make things move, but I can't dick around with shit.
It's because it's moving my mic. I'll get you some fidget spinners for the next time.
Yes, I want to watch Field of Dreams again.
That's a good movie.
It is, and this is the right fucking time of year.
That's right. Remember last year they had that game that I told you about?
No, you turned me. You said, turn this on.
Yeah, and you didn't have TV.
Did.
Oh, okay.
I had TV, but
I gave you TV that night.
You did.
So you could watch it.
You gave me YouTube something or other.
It's called YouTube
TV.
Yes.
You know, don't all act all smug over there with your... I gave you the...
Listen to him.
And God said...
I stepped down from my throne of power, and I gave you the TV of YouTube.
You did. You did. It took me a minute to remember exactly.
And then you got to see them play in the real Field of Dreams.
Right.
And it was pretty cool.
I got to see probably the greatest brave ever, John Smoltz.
Yeah. Did he die?
No, he's not dead.
Okay. Did his dad die? Somebody died in the family that day.
You're right. His dad did die.
His dad died.
Wow.
His dad died that day.
Right.
And then he went on that night.
He went right.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Here I am all this time thinking, you're a fucking moron.
And you can still believe that. It's probably still true.
And you pull out this memory of, that's right, John Smoltz's dad did die that day, and he did go on.
Yeah.
To do the
Field of Dreams.
Do the show.
Yeah. Which they are not doing this year, which I was upset about.
Right, because
they're rebuilding the stadium. They're tearing it down and they're rebuilding.
They're probably redoing it to accommodate infrastructure.
Yeah, because they had the stands couldn't handle all the people they had out of last year.
Well, I mean, they don't need to make it bigger.
No, they need to keep it small. They need to keep it like what the whole purpose of that is the idea that it's like a hometown thing. They don't need
Right.
like Drake and Usher showing up and doing like a bunch of like. We don't need this turning into the Super Bowl. We need to keep this like a hometown thing.
Go the distance. Feel the magic. That's not what they say in the fucking movie, jackass. I can say whatever I want.
And this is the ASMR portion of our podcast. Let me tap on some pans.
I'm going to beat you with something that shouldn't be. I may have to get up and
pillows. You're gonna beat me with pillows. That's more of an ASMR thing.
Now I gotta look up ASMR. I'm sure it doesn't mean autosensory.
Marine response.
Marine response.
So eloquently thought last week.
Autonomous sensory meridian response. A pleasant form of paresthesia.
It's where you get the little tinglies on your neck and your brain, and you think that you're being caressed by electronics and noise. It's supposed to be a pleasant feeling. It's not supposed to be a feeling where you want to reach through the microphone and hurt someone. Like certain people in my family say. They will remain unnamed, but there's certain folks that feel like that would drive them crazy and they would want to kill that person.
Oh, I in the true fairly harmless format, I thought you meant that it would be ASMR if I could begin beating you to death.
Well, I mean, if you did it silently, yeah.
It's got to be quiet.
Quiet. You'd have to slowly, like if a murderer wanted to go on a spree, but he wanted to do it in an ASMR way, he'd have to do it very quietly.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff. That's the way. I like it. That's what it was. We started off with.
We did start
was
off.
Was that
with,
KC? KC and the Sunshine Band.
That was KC and the Sunshine Band. They had a lot of hits. One of my favorite hits of theirs is "I'm Your Boogeyman," which was in Superbad, one of my favorite films. And I've lost you to your phone.
Oh! Excuse me, Marlon. I say something to you, and you're fucking looking at your watch and your phone and whatever you've got.
Look,
fucking
just because all my
implanted.
technology is tied together doesn't mean that I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, that's the way. Shake your booty. I'm your boogeyman. See, it's boogie. It sounds like when you say it, it sounds like bogey. You're saying bogeyman, but that's wrong.
Am I saying Pokemon?
Swore you said.
I don't think that's what I said.
I'm your boogeyman, boogeyman. That's what I am. I'm your boogeyman. All of a sudden, when I sang that, now it's better now.
What?
Maybe it's me. It sounded like the robot voice was back. When I sang up high like that.
I don't know. Maybe it is.
Maybe the time traveler that inhabits my body had gone away and only comes back when I raise my voice up high like that.
It could be. We'd be recording now for an hour and eight minutes. It could be biology too, depending on what you're doing in the bed.
Something to do with biology. Don't know much about
history
books. Don't know much about the
French.
The peanut butter I took.
If we actually sing the real song, would we get copyright violations, you think?
So
because I know YouTube does that, but does a podcast do that? If you sing the lyrics of an actual song?
I mean, the Boston Horns are allowing us to use their
music. That's right.
Their music, as long as we give them credit, which we are doing.
Great because music. They have great music. You found that music because of
you,
because of me,
because of my friend James.
That's right. Because of YouTube Music,
which made a suggestion, and normally I would have said, "Fucking idiot AI making recommendations for music," because normally it's like Spotify, which when I choose the really good classic rock music, it then suggests some stupid like Guns N' Roses, which is clearly has nothing to do with good classic rock and roll. It has a lot more to do with how much the recording company who makes money off of promoting
Guns N' Roses. Because I'm sure they're getting a lot of promotion, especially since Chinese Democracy was such a hit.
Well, they're still getting something. Wait, Chinese Democracy? What are you talking?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
Is that one of their songs?
That's one of their albums. That was the album they came back with a couple of years ago. The Lost album, the album they were always going to make.
Oh, Jesus
They made
Christ.
it in like the 2000s.
When are they going to make a good album? That's what I want to know.
Well, for Guns N' Roses fans, it was terrible. So I can only imagine what you would have thought.
I mean,
I'm not saying that I'm a Guns N' Roses. I'm not saying I sit over here and celebrate their entire catalog, but I would say that, they've had a couple of hits.
Oh, that's a great idea. We'll,
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
If you're thinking we're going to have a list of their songs, and I'm going to just randomly pick songs and we'll listen to them, and I will then take them apart.
Well, I could do the same thing with your favorite band, Rush, the band that sounds like Bob Dylan singing in the 70s.
You're so wrong, so wrong. First of all, they sound nothing like him.
He's singing with tinfoil in his mouth.
He's got a high pitched voice, you Johnny Jackhole.
Rush is terrible.
Now, I will admit that Geddy Lee later on lost his vocal range, but continued to try to sing. But I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due.
Do you? I mean,
the instrument.
Does that phrase really hold water?
The instrumentation, their ability to play their instruments, is comparable to.
Was Tom Sawyer a mean bride? I mean, was he?
Yes. It's not a pride.
I can't hear what they say.
Well, if you get the liner notes, it has the fucking lyrics in it. It's so much better than "Take me down to the Jericho City where the idiots are mean and the jackholes are pretty. Take me home."
Oh, we're going to get copyright strikes for that one.
Yeah, no. Well, they'd have to, because did you hear? Guns N' Roses. We're over in Mission Valley singing. No, calm down. That's only Andrew. Oh, wow. It's so fucking good. I can't believe it wasn't that.
We got kicked off the internet after our second podcast. Soon out of existence.
If they want to sue me, you know what? Bring it the fuck on.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
You think Axl Rose needs that money?
I think I can take him. That's what I think.
I think you probably could. I mean, he is getting up there.
I mean, I'm getting up there too. I don't move around so good no more.
Yeah.
But I hate him. And I know that God...
I can see that.
God wants me to be loving and caring towards all.
Except him.
Except him. I'm pretty sure.
There was a directive from God that
God said,
no love for Axl Rose.
The 11th commandment. Thou shalt follow these other 10 commandments.
And hate Axl Rose.
As much as ye can, but thou shalt kick, metaphorically, Axl Rose in the nuts.
All the time.
All the time.
When you're doing your next, water dance, prayer, meditation, whatever, you can, you keep,
water dance, prayer, meditation, yes.
Keep old Axl Rose in your thoughts there about how you're metaphorically kicking him in the nuts.
Take me down to the man city where the bitches are pretty.
I would like to say, though, that I think that November Rain and that other song of his, the one about sadness or whatever it is, was really good. It was an epic song. November Rain is an epic song. Along the lines of Mr. Loaf, or as his friends call him, Meat. Mr. Loaf had some good hits. I'm sorry to say that he's passed on to the greater flying loaf in the sky.
Is he dead, or is
the COVID got him?
Did he just go back in time with Nelson Mandela? Are they visiting another alternate timeline?
He probably exists in many timelines.
I mean, as we learned in Men in Black, Elvis didn't die. He just went home.
Right.
No, he didn't. He just went home.
Why do you think it is that people think that, Elvis got on a flying saucer.
Do people think that?
Well, I mean that
Many people?
there was a time period that supermarkets allowed tabloids that basically just straight up lied to your face.
Oh, they still allow you to do that. Well, you could.
I mean, I know newsstands do, but I haven't seen anything of that caliber in a supermarket in a very long time. So back to my point, why do you think it is that people thought that Elvis, rather than dying, which is what all other previous humans, except for one specific human,
Nelson Mandela. Oh,
Nelson Mandela.
Jesus, you mean Jesus.
But it was probably Nelson Mandela. He is a time traveler, after all. Why is it that they thought that he got on a flying saucer and went back to wherever it is he came from?
Because we live in a country that fears death.
All right, I don't mean to jump topics. Let's just briefly talk about some failed dating app names. Now, we all know about Shelf, the dating app for fat people.
Of the people in this room and in the general
and
vicinity.
Most of the people that are going to watch.
You mean you and me?
Listen to this podcast.
We know about Shelf.
We are well aware of Shelf.
Shelf is our idea of a dating app for fat people, based on the fact that
fat people don't get enough love. And I mean, let's face it, the only
I thought it was also
fat people dating app right now is really Plenty of Fish.
I thought it was also reference to the fact that we use our guts as a literal shelf.
Yes, it's where you place the can food that you're drinking out of, whether it be a beverage or...
Could be a sandwich. I put a sandwich on there.
I mean, that's the great thing about the human body that thin people don't realize, is that fat people can use their bodies in ways thin people can't.
Right.
I can use my fat body as a plate or a shelf.
It's
a countertop, if you will.
It's
if I'm laying down, my gut, depending on how I'm shaping it,
right,
can be a great place to put stuff.
This brings up an aside I wanted to bring up with you,
which is
last weekend, for the first time ever, James, who is not a touchy-feely person at all. I'm shocked that he is married to a woman.
We're gonna have to cut all this out.
What? That's just me making fun of you. No, allowed me to hug him, and when I did, our shelves got in the way.
That's right, because we have big shelves. We're big guys.
We're going to have to practice hugging.
Maybe we do that some other time.
I mean, not all the time, but, when let's just keep that in mind. Anyway, so yeah, Shelf. Dating apps.
This is failed dating apps. Shelf. I think somebody will take this podcast and run with Shelf, and they better give us credit. The idea for Shelf. I was thinking, if something that is like a piece of hardware can be a dating app, then why can't a thing that you play shit on be a dating app? Shelf.
So I would think if we're going, based on that, you said Hinge, and I immediately thought of Wrench.
Wrench, that is a great name for a dating app.
But then I thought of, if we're talking fat people, is probably we want to have some sort of mechanical advantage involved in, how we move. And so then I thought of hydraulic.
I can tell you that I'm sure a number of people, whether they're fat or not, use hydraulic methods to get off on a pretty regular basis.
It's not those.
I don't know where you were going with that, but that's where I went with it.
Just talking about a name of how people might get together. I'm not talking about
what they do once they get together.
What they do once they get together, or what you might do in the privacy of your own home with your hydraulically operated
devices. So that'd be a visit from a new kind of stranger if it was a robotic hand.
New kind of stranger, yeah, sure.
Well,
which is
it's
not
like
true.
When the left hand visits, because the right hand is always on vacation.
Why is the right hand always on vacation?
Not always on vacation, but when the right hand's on vacation, you get a visit from the stranger. This is definitely going to have to be cut out.
What? No, I think this definitely needs to stay in.
Oh, yeah?
It's not dirty. I mean, it could be dirty.
It's extremely dirty, depending on how you want to look at it. Or
all right,
feel
so
it.
Very dirty. So maybe this is not podcast for children.
This is going to have to be I mean, we've used the word fuck a number of times in this podcast. I think we're going to have to put the explicit E on this.
I should note that I had ready access to my heating pad, which
has disappeared.
James made it disappear. I don't know how he did that, but he mentioned it, and I said, no, I'm too hot.
Now you're not.
Now I want it, and it's fucking gone.
Yeah, man. But yeah, other names. I like your name for wrench. I think that could be like, you could say something like, well, wrench. Every good nut deserves a turn or something like that.
Absolutely. Well,
every good screw deserves a nut or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's what it is.
Toolbox.
Nobody wants to say screw.
Right.
Because that's what we're really talking about.
That's right. But they're dancing around the topic. Like
right.
Wrench, hinge,
right.
I
mean, and if we want
hammer.
To be, right. If we wanted to be perhaps honest from a lady's perspective, it could be like needle dick or
needle dick. Is that what the ladies are going to go for? This man has no penis.
This man has no penis. That's true. We want to keep the element of fantasy.
You got to keep a little Narnia in your dating apps. Like
not for nothing, but Narnia always sound dirty to me.
It does, which is really strange because it's Christian.
Right. It's the Chronicles of Narnia.
Why are you going into that wardrobe all by yourself?
I got lost in the wardrobe.
Something about all that just doesn't line up.
Right, and the first character they meet is Mr. Tumnus. He's a satyr, right?
I got to be honest with you. I know very little about the Chronicles of Narnia.
Which sounds like a guy that doesn't wear pants, to me.
I always get the Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter, and the Wizard of Oz mixed up. Because it's groups of people doing things.
I mean, Harry Potter was great. The Chronicles of Narnia and Narnia.
The Chronicles of Narnia.
That's that is dirty. That's the X-rated Chronicles of Narnia. Wow, I'm going to have to look that up on my Pornhub now, the Chronicles of Narnia.
I bet you're going to find something. I guarantee it. I guarantee. If you can make a porno site based on things called OnlyFans, and people originally think you're talking about fans that blow air.
The first time I heard of OnlyFans, I thought, Jesus, that's what we need is another friggin' sports website.
Right.
Like FanDuel. That's what I thought.
It was a FanDuel.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought OnlyFans was.
They're betting on something.
Apparently, that ain't it. I missed it. Because that's what I do. So, dating apps, wrench, penis, hinge,
penis?
Screw.
Just gonna call it a penis. Yeah, I'm sure the Apple Store is gonna let that one on there. Got the Professor Frink of sex dating apps.
Those monkeys are going to pay.
Oh, this is the one we're gonna have to do.
Plunger. I think Plunger.
Plunger. Oh, that's a good one because you can do a lot with Plunger. That Plunger almost insinuates BDSM, right?
Sure. But is it
BDSM or is it BSDM? I can't remember.
If you're doing it right, it's BSDM, but I think the term is actually BDSM.
Bondage. I don't know what the other...
Dominance, sadomasochism.
I
believe.
I'm glad you know that.
Not that I would know.
Is that ball gag over there yours? I mean...
I just use that for the dog. He's a little aggressive. That cone is mine.
I see you've got a leather jacket and some whips and chains.
The sleeves look a little long.
They look a little tight. So let's explain what's in the box, just for our viewers, so that we can.
And me.
Let's
explain it to me.
because you seem to have forgotten what the hell it is, even though it's one of our top bits.
I've got an idea. This is the great thing about memory. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I don't.
What do you got? Sometimes? What are you going to take some medication for that?
So the box, we're just putting things in there.
We're just putting things in there, and then the other person describes.
They put their hand in there.
They put their hand in there, and they try to figure out what's in the box.
All right. Nothing that can
Hurt you. No spiders in the box.
Right. No spiders. No really sharp knives.
No sharp objects.
No sharp objects.
No gag gifts. Like, I don't want to have a bunch of snakes jump out of there, even if they're fake snakes.
No. Nothing that will make me scream.
Gifts.
Yeah. Nothing that will make me throw caution to the wind and my hip arthritis and actually come over the table at you.
Kill us all.
Yes.
That really limits what's in this box.
No, I've got some ideas.
Okay. I'm going to say, please don't peel a bunch of grapes and put them in a bowl.
Oh, that's terrible.
That just sounds like no weird food problems, like some uncooked spaghetti or cooked spaghetti mixed in with grapes. I just think that'd be unfortunate.
I think Wait a minute.
No, and also no liquids. Don't be pouring like a thing of motor oil into a glass and be like, what's in this box?
I think I have a way I can get around that, but
I don't want to know. I don't want to put my hand in it.
a very high viscosity solid.
It's got to be about that time.
Sounds good. I think this is all I got in.
Sleep all day and then you're out all night. I know where you're going.
Once again, this has been Fairly Harmless. Missing the point on... Wait, what's the point?
Think there's trouble brewing.
Our musical accompaniment provided by the Boston Horns, East Coast Funk. Their music is available for streaming and purchase on most media platforms. For Fairly Harmless, this has been your announcer, Fast Eddie. See you soon.